I am John Anderson, President of the National Academy of Engineering. The NAE is one of the three academies that comprise the U.S. National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine. And together we serve as advisors to the nation on matters involving science, engineering, and health. We were founded by a congressional charter in the Lincoln administration in 1863. And NAE as an academy has existed with the same privileges since 1964. I'm delighted to welcome you from many different time zones to this inaugural forum of NAE's new program, FOCUS, Forum on Complex Unifiable Systems. The FOCUS program is interested in the application of systems integration. Through this program, the NAE is devoting considerable attention to how complex systems can be and ought to be understood, developed, and improved to meet the needs of society. The subject matter of this symposium is as complex and consequential as it can be. Food and nutrition sustain and promote growth of civilizations, and without it, there are no civilizations. The individuals who are on the program today are world leaders in their spheres. They have dedicated their scholarly and business leadership to address one of the greatest challenges to humanity. A recent Rockefeller Foundation report has pointed out that the COVID crisis has significantly weakened the U.S. food system. And I quote from that report, "America faced a food and nutrition crisis unlike any this country has seen for generations. As we emerge from this crisis, there is a unique opportunity to transform the U.S. food system." In developing countries, it's far worse. The true cost of COVID on food production and distribution, the report finds, is at least 3 times higher than originally thought, perhaps as high as $3.2 trillion. The number of systems and enterprises involved in food production and logistics is itself bewildering. The ultimate recommendation of this report is the following: scale cross-cutting efforts throughout the systems in play. This recommendation aligns well with our long-term thinking at the NAE and the goals of our FOCUS program. Our conversation today is expected to provide stimulating provocations and perspectives on the kinds of systems thinking necessary for partnerships and the progress that is needed for engineering sustainable and resilient food and agricultural enterprises. I want to thank all the professional societies that have joined us today, including many of the society leaders, presidents, vice presidents, board members, and executive directors. Some of these societies have generously contributed to make this NAE event possible. I wish to recognize the following organizations for their support of this forum: the Agricultural and Applied Economics Association, the American Society of Agricultural and Biological Engineers, the American Society of Agronomy, the Crop Science Society of America, the Institute of Biological Engineering, and Soil Science of America. Special thanks go to our illustrious speakers who have agreed to offer a variety of perspectives. We appreciate your time and effort. And also, as a former professor and university president, I'm gratified to see many students joining us today. Your participation makes this event even more special. Thank you for being with us. I recognize NAE member Jim Jones, distinguished professor at the University of Florida, for helping to shape this event and for his devotion to its success. During the program, you will hear more from Dr. Jones, and with him, Dr. Guru Madhavan, Director of the FOCUS program and NAE Senior Director of Programs and the Norm Augustine Scholar of the NAE. Joining me to welcome you to this forum is Dr. Al Romick, NAE member and executive officer. As I turn it over to Al, I wish everyone a very productive meeting. Al, the microphone is yours.
Well, a good international morning to all of you, since I know people are joining us around the world. And please allow me to join John in welcoming you all to this NAE inaugural FOCUS program event. FOCUS, of course, is our approach to how we try to solve problems from a systems thinking, systems engineering perspective. As John said, I'm the executive officer of the NAE. Think of that as the chief operating officer, and I've been in this role for the past 6.5 years. And I came here following a 36-year career in defense and aerospace. And no matter what field you've worked in, or in fact, what species you even are, we all know that food is a vital element in how we all live and prosper during our lives. Systems engineering and the systems approach to problem solving has always been important to me. So for example, if I think about my own career in defense and aerospace, things like the bomb or the missile under the wing, those are a weapon. The aircraft itself, when it's armed with those weapons, becomes a system. But even the system itself, there are components that form minor subsystems, that form major subsystems that finally come together to form the entire system. So for example, a major subsystem might be the propulsion or the guidance units that go inside of that aircraft. When you begin to look at how one aircraft interacts with others in its squadron, or how the aircraft interacts with ships or satellites and so forth, now you move into the realm of a system of systems. And of course, that hierarchy continues up as you integrate more and more things together into an ever larger and expanding hierarchy of systems. And I would note that this notion of systems thinking also applies into the area of agriculture. From a personal note, my family, actually it's my wife's sisters, through my wife's sister and her husband, own one of the largest, or maybe the largest ranch in Colorado. It's a Bledsoe Ranch. And as I watched my brother-in-law and my nephews work the ranch, it's clear that this is also, once again, the issue of solving a complex system. Everything from the use of drones to monitoring the watering, to monitoring the cattle, taking care of the fences, how you coordinate the market, having the calves born, getting ready to ship to the market, et cetera. It's one giant moving system. And it's really quite amazing to watch. If you've never spent time on a ranch or a farm, in fact, I grew up baling hay in Pennsylvania, in dairy country, but if you've never had a chance to work on a farm or a ranch, take a weekend sometime and try it. You'll find it very, very interesting. You'll get a real notice of how it's really a system kind of issue that you're dealing with. Well, we believe here that through our focus program, we'll have the ability to solve and work on a number of very important societal problems by using this systems approach. And so this is our very first attempt at doing that, looking at this various existential notion of proper food and diet for the people of this earth. And let me also join John in thanking the professional societies that have so graciously supported this event. The interesting thing about a system is it can be working very smoothly, and then all of a sudden something from the outside can perturb it. And I would say that if you take a look at, for example, our food supply, it's been perturbed by the COVID virus. It's disrupting the supply chains, for example, up and down, from materials moving into the ranches and farms to the food getting to the packers, getting from the packers to the stores, and getting it home to your table. And so how you can handle a perturbation to such a system is another aspect of how a higher level of systems thinking may help you solve that problem. We've just completed our strategic plan in the NAE. It's about to go to council for its final approval. And it really provides that our programs are built around people, systems, and culture. Needless to say, there are a few things that represent people and systems and their culture, as well as food does. I think all of us have our list of favorite ethnic foods that we all like to enjoy, which clearly are a reflection of that culture. So once again, I thank you for sharing your time with us. We have close to 1,000 people who have registered. I think that's wonderful. And so with that welcome, I'd now like to turn it over to Dr. Guru Madhavan to introduce the forum. Guru?